Chris from Slothwerx Designs here. This is the first episode in the new series I'm launching, Illustrator Bootcamp. As you can see, the first episode is a grunge effect tutorial. I mean, this is a very simple, straightforward tutorial that pretty much no matter how new you are to Illustrator, it's pretty simple, straightforward, and it should be pretty easy to follow. So like I said, this is the first episode, and there's gonna be I haven't put a number on it, but I know it's gonna be a pretty decent amount. I have quite a lot of different tutorials in mind that I eventually want to do, and like I said in my very first tutorial on Illustrator, that if you have any ideas of future tutorials that you want to see, I'll gladly look through them and pick some to do. But let's go ahead and get into this. The first thing you're gonna need is an actual vector texture, and the vector textures that I'm using in this tutorial I can't give to you, but they are free. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this link in the description so you guys can follow along. But basically, you're gonna go here and you're gonna scroll down until you see download, and then of course you'll download it and unzip it, and then you'll want to open it up. It's called vectorbumperpack.ai. I believe it comes with this one and a legacy one. I believe the legacy is just better for older versions, like CS probably 4, 3, and 2, I would imagine. Anyway, so you're gonna open up it up in Illustrator, and then of course we're gonna have to create a new document. I like A4, so go ahead and set up. Now, like I said, this is going to be pretty straightforward, and there's literally like practically no steps, just a couple. And if you have any if you have any experience with Photoshop and using masks, this is basically the same as how it is in Photoshop. All this here, all the grunge effect, is basically a mask put on top of whatever you want, be it text or an image, a logo, a shape, whatever. So basically, you're going to want to start out. In this instance, we'll be doing it on text, but you can do it, like I said, on anything. Pick a font. I recommend, of course, something big, bold. You don't really want something too thin, because then it gets hard to see, and depending on how big you have the vector texture when you put it on into the mask, it could just block out too much of it. But anyway, write out what you want. So we'll just go there, Grunge. Okay, let's make this a shade lighter. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the text a bit. You can hold down Alt and left and right. So let's sorry, I'm a little picky. I guess we'll go something pretty extreme like that. Although it could technically be a little bit hard to read. Let's just go with that. Okay. So, to follow along with this tutorial, I do recommend going up here if you're in CS6 and going to layout. It's the one I prefer. If you don't want to, if you have your own preferred layout that you'd rather use, that's fine. You're going to want to open up transparency, which is obviously down here on the right if you're in layout, or you can go to window and you can scroll down and you can click transparency. You can leave it in the dock like this, or you can drag it out. I prefer just to leave it right here. I just tend to leave basically everything how it was set up. Adobe did a pretty good job with this one. I like it. It's pretty much got everything. But anyway, so basically what we're going to want to do is we're going to need to make the mask first. So you do that by clicking mask, make mask. You want to take off clip. Now you can see when I click, a gold box goes around. This indicates what you're on. The left one would be whatever you're applying the masks to. In this case it would be the text, and the right one would be the mask itself. So go ahead and make sure you click the right one so you have the box, and let's go ahead and start dragging some stuff in. These are, like I said, vector textures, so they're all points. They're completely scalable. So this is pretty much the perfect way to add a grunge look to any kind of vector artwork, be it a general vector design or a logo or something like that. You can copy and paste, Control C, and then go over Control V, or alternatively you can drag and drop, go over to the tab, drop in. It's personal preference. I prefer Control C, Control V, and you can copy paste. It's a little bit quicker, just 2 buttons done. And basically what you're going to want to do here, mold first, I can just move it over. You can see immediately, since the mask, since it's black, it's going to obscure whatever you put it over. You can also invert it, but obviously since it's black, that won't accomplish anything. I guess let's show you, turn it white and invert. Basically it's the same, although it doesn't work quite as well. So what you really want to do is obviously just keep it black. So from here on it's just basically personal preference on how you want it. When I use the like the brushes versus, see all the little dots, and I'll get to these later, I prefer obviously to use these just around the edges. As you can see, it gives it a really cool, grungy border around it. And actually that's pretty much perfect placement for me for now. I'm not going to get too in depth with it, but obviously you could scale them around and play with them. Feel free to pause it and get it how you want. I'm going to go ahead and drag some more in. I don't know if I've ever used this one. Let's see how it looks. Obviously you don't want to hide too much of it. You still want it legible. You just want it dirty. I think I'll just squish it a little bit. I'm not too really worried about getting ultra perfect, just something that looks decent to show you guys. It works. Alright, let's cover up a little bit more. Let's see what I want. I'm gonna use this one, and I'll rotate it around. You can right click, transform, reflect, click preview. Horizontal flips it around that way, vertical flips it around that way. Anyway, so I'll flip it around this way. I'll just get, actually I'll also flip it around the other way too. Rotate it a bit. That looks good. And then what I always like to do, kind of like a finishing touch, is to use these. Now, these give it kind of like a paint roller effect, like if you were to take a paint roller when you're painting your wall in your house, and instead of how you normally would, you'd be going up and down a couple times over one spot to get a nice thick coat. You would just basically just run it over real quick, not even pressing all that hard. You'd get a bunch of little dots in places where the paint actually didn't even touch the wall. So that's why I like using these. And also, it shouldn't change unless you click, but just make sure when you're copying them in that you are in fact in the mask. That's the square on the right. Anyway, these are awfully huge if you're just using text, so what I would do is I would size them down a bit. Oops. And then I'm sorry to rotate it. Alright. Getting a bit of lag. I got a bunch of stuff running, plus I'm recording. Shouldn't be too bad though. But you see, when you drop it in there, it gets that nice little speck. Also, you'll also notice the more you drag in, you're just adding a whole bunch of data to the file. So you will probably start seeing, depending on computer specs, obviously if I'm not recording, it's not quite as bad. But anyway, and that looks good enough. So click out of this, and that will also give you back your performance. And I mean, as you can see, that's it. That's really it. You can go one step further, and if you want, I'll show you. If you notice, because this is the same font I used Helvetica in this example, but you notice it doesn't have the stencil look. That was all manually done. Pretty simple. I'll show you how to do it. Now let's go back over to your mask and bring down your layer. Now, for now, you're going to want to hide these just so it's a whole lot easier. Now, while you're still in the mask, go to your line tool and hold down, drag, hold shift to get a straight line, and just drag something where you know it's long enough to fit. And for this case, let's see, we're going to want to give it a stroke. So for this case, a 1 pixel stroke should be good. Hopefully, we'll see. Actually, let's see. Let's try it once we actually see it. Let's see, 1. That's 2. Yeah, we'll go with 1. So as you can see, just like all the vector textures, it hides it. Now, what I like to do with this is first expand it. So you would go to Object, Expand, click OK. And what that does is instead of a stroke now, it's a shape. And this way it's a little bit easier to line up, in my opinion. So what's easiest to do is obviously you'd want to line it up like that. And the closer you get, you can make sure that you're actually, up against it flush. And like that. Select it, hold down Alt, and drag it over. Let go Alt, and reposition it where you want it. I'm not being ultra precise here, I'm just gonna kinda like eye it. Let's see, how far over did I put? Yeah. And then obviously you just keep doing that over each letter, just following the contours. And stuff like an N or an M, we take 2 of them, just line them up. If you need examples, like if you've never seen too much stencil fonts, just look them up and just kind of study them. Just look how they're done. It's fairly straightforward and simple to pick up, and that'll get you an idea of what you want to do. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm gonna finish this out. Now you can either do that, or you can rotate it. Oh, this will take a little bit more. I hate dragging from this, from the middle. Obviously there's better ways of doing it, but considering this is just a quick tutorial, I'm not trying to take overly too much time. I'm just gonna eye it. Yeah, stuff like that. And drag it in. Almost done, yay! Quite close enough. So I'm a little OCD, so I don't want a little edge sticking out. See, how do we want to do the X? I don't think that's gonna look good, but let's see. Screw it. I don't know. Let's mess around with just 2 seconds. Obviously, the tutorial is pretty much over, but you know, just kind of showing you guys a little bit the overall process that would be involved. Anyway, I don't really feel like screwing with that, so we'll just keep it straight. And then, after that, you would just go back down and turn these back on. Click back over. Boom. Done. And that is the tutorial. Nice grungy, distressed look. Very simple. Takes no time flat to do. I hope this helps people. And if you like it, go and it helped you, go ahead and you know, give the video a like. Leave a comment if you have a question about the tutorial, need a little bit of help, or like I said, if you have an idea for a future tutorial, go ahead, leave a comment about that too. I'd be more than happy to take a look through them and see what I can do for you guys. And as well, this tutorial series is going to be running in conjunction on my channel as well as the TheDesignBarracks channel. And if you haven't heard the TheDesignBarracks, it's a fairly new channel where it basically just concentrates on tutorials and giveaways of various stuff. So I definitely recommend, if you're looking to pick up, you know, some tips, some tricks, and whatnot about various programs. I mean, you'll find not only Illustrator but Photoshop, Cinema 4D, various other things as well. They have a wide variety of different people of different disciplines. But so check them out as well. I'll link them in the description as well, so you can check them out. And yeah, this was Chris from Slothwerx Designs, and have a good day.